Hello, good day to all. This is Meraj before you, and we are starting with human reproduction today. So, my dear friends, when we come to the start the human reproduction study, the basic question arises is that what type of reproduction? What type of reproduction is this? Is it sexual type or asexual type? So the answer to this can be understood by knowing that we name sexual when there are two organisms taking part and asexual when only one organism is taking participation during reproduction. But as we know that in the human's reproduction, intercourse is the stage that is very important in which the male transports its male gametes, that is the sperms, into the female vagina. By this intercourse, it means that there is a participation of two organisms. Two organisms are participating. That is the reason why we named it as a sexual reproduction. So after understanding this, we will proceed to learn what are the reproductive events. So first it is the insemination. Insemination, the transfer of semen from the male to the female, and this is accomplished by the process of copulation, that is the intercourse. And after the insemination, after the male gamete is transferred to the female, and as it reaches to the fallopian tube where the ovum is also present, that is the female gamete which is coming from the ovary. So here the fusion takes place. That process called the fertilization. And as we all know, the result of fertilization is the formation of zygote that is diploid, because before this the gametes are haploid. So after fusing both the gametes, male and female, the zygote is formed, that is diploid. And this diploid zygote will undergo mitosis and go through stages of development. The most important is the blastocyst stage, because this is the stage in which it gets implanted into the uterine wall. That is the process is next is the implantation process. And after the implantation, the development of the embryo takes place into the fetus and so on. So that period is called the period of gestation. That lasts nearly 40 weeks or 9 months. So in this gestation period, the development of embryo takes place into the fetus, and as it goes at the end of the gestation period, the parturition occurs. That is the parturition occurs, and that is the birth of the newborn occurs. So this is the reproductive events, and these are very important to understand before going in depth about and learning about the fertilization and the implantation and the development of the zygote into the blastocyst and the process of insemination and fertility disorders and those all things. And now the question arises that from where are these gametes or the sperms being produced? So answer to that question is that they are formed from the gonads. Gonads are the reproductive organs. They are present both the sexes. In males, the gonads is named as testes, and in females that is the ovary. So these are the reproductive organs. They are producing the gametes, and the process that process known as the gametogenesis, which we will be discussing in our next videos in detail. At the same time, in next videos of embryology, all the process of implantation and the zygote development and the fertilization all will be discussed in detail. Further, you have to watch next videos. And about the testes, we have made a separate video of anatomy or its blood supply and clinical knowledge, venous supply, that is very most important differentiating feature and characteristic feature of the testes, and all those things have been discussed. You can go and watch varicocele and hydrocele and those all things. So these are all the things. And one extra point I want to add is that if you take the semen, this is the insemination, means process of transfer of the semen from the male to the, and this what does, if you take the 1 milliliter of the semen, you will and count all the sperms in them, so you will get nearly 15 to 200 million sperms. So in normal individual, the sperm count is nearly 15 million to 200 million per ml of the semen. So that is the extra point. So with this, let us move next. So even in secondary school we know that there are what are the types of organs. Here the organs means the reproductive organ. So generally we know that there are two types. One is the primary sexual organ and another is the secondary sexual organ. So in primary sexual organ, what is the difference between primary and secondary sexual organs? The many students get confused, but there can be no confusion remain after you get the real concept behind this primary and secondary sexual organ. And here primary sexual organ means they are primarily important because they are involving in the formation of the gametes. Gametes are very important, primarily important. So that is the reason why these are involved in the formation of gametes. So these are only gamete producing organs. These are only gamete producing organs. And whereas the secondary sexual organs, they are which differentiate, these will differentiate male from female. So they are involving in sexual, leading to sexual dimorphism. So my dear friends, the basic concept we have understood that the primary sexual organs are only gamete producing organs. So what are the gamete producing organs? Just now we have learned that is in male that is testes, and females it is the ovary. And what are the secondary sexual organs which are differentiating male and female? They are the external genitalia.